We are running.
The dean of the School of Business was there, Dr. Shirley Teeter, God rest her soul. And they asked her the same question. They said, Dr. Teeter, blah, blah, blah. He says, yes, I've known Danny a long, long time. The only thing that's changed with Danny Pena is his accomplishments have caught up with his big mouth. But the animosity for me had built up over 25 or 30 years. Because every time I told Dr. Teeter I was going to do something, I went and did it. I created more wealth than my whole university alumni since the beginning of the first day that school started. But just because I'm not the messenger that of your choice, Michael has me here for a reason. And it's not for you to love me. That's his department. It's not for you to even like me. That's his department. If I can change 5, 10, 6, 8, 3 people in the audience to go out and create generational wealth for them to change the world and make it a better place, then I was successful. But most of you will not do that because you don't want to make the sacrifices that I've made. And just as freedom isn't free, and I'm a veteran, freedom's not free, well, wealth doesn't come for free either. And the good that you may be able to do with that wealth generation doesn't come for free. We have now become comfortable being uncomfortable. And the difference between the high-performance people that I'm going to talk about in the next few minutes is they have lived a life of stretching their comfort zone. They now are living to be always uncomfortable. This is you with a big nose here, right? You got your goals over, and I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that you write your goals down, okay? Now, you got to get by your relatives. Some of you will never get by your relatives. Next, you've got to get by your friends. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future, right? You're hanging out the pub, belching and farting, watching the 10-year-old football matches on the goddamn screen. By the way, Sally and I went to a sports bar a few years ago. She didn't know what a sports bar was. And had about 30, 40 big TV screens with athletic events, you know. And Sally said, there were 2 boxers. And Sally said, aren't those guys dead now? Well, why do people come in here? A great question. And they were, Pele. When was the last time he kicked a football? Mariano. And Sally couldn't figure it out. Why? Anyway, those people that you're going to the sports bars, those are your friends. Then there's just general pessimists. Then there's your own guilt. Do I deserve to be wealthy beyond measure? Then there's fear, false expectations appearing real. And then there's this plain society that wants to hold you down. And that's why you don't achieve what I believe with all my heart you were meant to achieve. We were put here to be all we can be, not a fraction thereof. Not a fraction thereof. And this is what keeps us. This is what keeps us from attaining, in my judgment, our true destiny. You may not like the way I say it, but if you go and truth check me, 99.99% of what I say is absolute truth and accurate. I could say it a lot different. I could say it a lot nicer. I could wishy-washy it. But the privilege that I've had to be around high-performance people, they're not wishy-washy. There's never an easy time to make a hard decision. There's never an easy time to make a hard decision. Never. Napoleon Hill was a bum, but he did write the book with Carnegie, or about Carnegie. Now, just think about it. Why would a 19-year-old journalist spend a weekend with a dirty old man on Nob Hill in San Francisco? Anybody think about that? Doesn't that seem, even in the Netherlands, doesn't that sound strange? Okay, so he hired Napoleon Hill to come up with a sales idea to sell life insurance. Supposedly as theory, and the reason I know this is because W. Clement Stone told me in this ear, because I was trying to have a meeting with him, he kept getting sick, then his house burned down in Chicago, and I never got to meet him in person, so I only got to talk to him on the phone. About 2001, 2002, and he died at 101 or 102. And he said, all of a sudden, and he said, I can't really remember, Mr. Pena, because it was a long time ago, if Napoleon Hill came up with the idea, or I came up with the idea, we need something that cannot be measured. Cannot be measured. And they thought and thought and thought and thought. Personal development. You can't measure personal development. It's the greatest scam there ever was. And that's how personal development was born. A scam that you can't measure. A scam that you can't measure. And look at you. And an industry's been built up over the last 40, 50 years because of it. So you go back and you read your PD book. You listen to your podcast. A scam. Some of the Dutch always ask me, is there work-life balance? Jack Welch said it much better than I. There's no such thing as work-life balance. There are work-life choices, and you make them, and they have consequences. There are consequences.
What are you going to do with the time you have left? I say that if you don't reposition yourself, you could miss the best time in your life, in this season of life. Because we have got to change the way we think. We have got to change the way we function. We have got to change the way we deal with issues. And the reason that you have to begin to reposition the way you think and the way you function and the way you feel is that we many times are stuck between the lines of limited thinking and limited people and limited ideas and limited philosophies, and there's something creative down inside of you saying, let there